Hello, hello. We are now live. So, if you're new here, my name is Jared Parker. I'm an aspiring cinematographer in and around London. If you want to know more about what I do and what we're about, make sure to go follow me. We are now live. Oh, hold on. I can hear myself. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, Jared Parker director. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, and actually Isaac. Sorry, I should have put your Instagram there as well. But I'll put in the description. I'll put all of like links and stuff to Isaac in the description. And if you are here, if you're in the chat, make yourself known. Let us know that you're in the chat. If you ask a question for Isaac, I'll read it out to him because he can't. I don't think you can. You can't see the chat, can you? So I'll read it out.
No.
To you. And lastly, if you look here, you can call in live. So if you've got any questions whilst we're talking, any questions for me, any questions for Isaac, feel free to call in live. You will be live. But yeah, like hopefully we can get some conversations going and some engagement. So this is so weird because like I want it to be. Obviously, I want people to take something away from this and learn something. But at the same time, we got to try and be sensible, but try not to mess around too much. So Isaac, introduce yourself. Like, who are you? What are you about?
Okay, well, thank you for having me on your show.
It's all right. I don't know if I should call it a show.
No,
it's
I didn't know whether to call it a podcast or what it is. But anyway, my name's Isaac Moon, and I'm a writer and director based in Liverpool. Whoop.
Someone said I'm here, and I believe that's your dad, Isaac. Moon UK.
Oh, cool.
So
that would be him.
Shout out to Isaac's dad that's in the chat. So just a little bit of context of how me and Isaac know each other. Me and Isaac, we've known each other for years now, since we were like, I think year 7, year 8. I don't know how old we were.
You got to be talking like a good 10 odd years.
Oh, 100%.
Now, isn't it? Maybe over?
100%. So we've known each other for years. So it's not as if we know each other recently or anything like that. So
we go way back.
Yeah, we go way back. So at school we did media. So this is obviously like, I mean, it's like a bit of everything, right? We did a bit of writing, a bit of shooting. It was all a bit of a.
Yeah, I mean, we started. We got on during media studies, which I think was about year 9-ish. Mm-hmm. And then we did our GCSEs. I think you did film studies as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, we both did. Yeah.
No, I did drama. And then when we were doing our A-levels, you said to me, you should come over to film studies and stuff like that. I think you'd really like it. Yeah. And
I know.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
As some people say. Yeah.
And then after that, we sort of, that is what got us hooked into filmmaking, is that, like, when we were young. And then we sort of went not our separate ways, but we went down not different paths, but like just different locations basically. So I went to
we both
they're gone.
Well, I was going to say film studies was really the eye-opening thing. As soon as I feel like we did film studies, I kind of tapped it like the first analyst of Fight Club opened my eyes to that.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think we really got into our stride sort of thing, and we separated once we went to university, didn't we?
Yeah. And I think what you just said there about how you really like film studies, I think it touches upon what I was just about to say, which is I've sort of drifted towards the more technical side of things, like cinematography, cameras, lenses, and you've drifted towards the direct writing and the directing. So what you just said there is really interesting, because you said about what the eye-opener for you was film studies, and I loved studying film studies and Fight Club and things like that, but I often forget about film studies and remember about media studies, because I think media was more practical. So it's interesting how it's interesting how back then, even then, it's like your focus and your memory was on film studies more, because that's more like an analytical view of things, whilst mine is more towards the media and practical side. And I think because of that shift, it's worked both massively in our favour, because that's what works in a collaborative space. Is, you know, someone's technical and lenses and all of that, whilst the other person is like, the ideas. Like, you're always, when we've worked together, you're always saying about these ideas that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of.
Yeah, you've always been drawn to the practicality, I think, of filmmaking. Ever since like we were in media, you was always the cinematographer and stuff like that. And I think that was like an element that you were drawn to quite early on, and that was really early on. That was like year 9, something like that.
Yeah.
And in A levels, we started to do projects and stuff like that within a group. But even they weren't very serious. But I've always gravitated towards the concepts and the writing and stuff like that. Yeah, we did kind of split away in that degree, and obviously we went to separate unis in different parts of the country as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was good that I mean, part of me does think that maybe like what would happen if we had gone to the same uni. You know, it's quite interesting to think if we had gone to the same place, like where would we be doing, like, you know, doing something completely different, or you know what I mean, like the same but completely different.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've never really had a pull to do any kind of practicality in film. I've done bits and bobs of cinematography and sound and editing and stuff like that, but I've always been pulled towards more of the writing aspect. So I think we would have still been on the same path that we're on.
Oh yeah.
But you know, maybe we would have been working together on more projects and stuff like that. I mean, that was a whole like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Because I went to uni a year after you as well, so I was always a year delayed. But you know, if we went to the same uni, would we have been working together more frequently, and how that would have developed, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things you kind of imagine. We're not really too sure, are we?
I have to. Sorry to interrupt, but people in the chat are saying they're typing hashtag Team Isaac in the chat, which is quite funny. It's Tom and Oliver. There's also a hashtag Who's Jared again.
The podcast has been taken over, mate.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's a podcast. I really don't know.
Yeah, in my mind, I have to stop myself from saying like, oh, if you want to call into the show, I have to like stop myself from saying it's a show.
Yeah.
But I think this is like a good blend between podcast and like a show, you know, like a live show. Anyway, I was going to ask this question later on, but we've sort of touched on education a little bit.
Yeah.
One of those questions is, do you think uni is a good place for directors and writers and people who are in the creative space?
I think, I don't know. There's 2 ways to look at like university and that form of education. I think with the film side of it, or like just education that way in general, if you're willing to learn, then yes. But I think there's more than just education you get out from going to uni. I don't think you just get like a form of education. I think it's a whole growing experience, you know, from when you leave home and you travel to university. And for a lot of people, it's away from their families and stuff. I mean, some people do it, you know, where they are, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously we traveled away and stuff like that. And a lot of people do go to like new cities and stuff like that. And you're still quite young when you do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's you learn 2 different things. Obviously, you have the education aspect of it, but you also have like the actual growing into an individual and into a person. But as far as education, if you're willing to learn, then and you go there, you know, with that mindset, there's a lot you can learn from it. But it's not as easy as it sounds, because you go through those growing experience and those new experiences of living alone and dealing with money and all those sorts of things. You're making new friends and you live in that lifestyle. But for me, I would say it was good, you know, because a lot of people obviously argue, is it best just to get out in the world and start making things and do stuff like that? For me, it was good. I really enjoyed it. But I don't think it's just as simple as like just focusing on the education. If you're looking at a career perspective, then there's a lot you can get from it. But I don't think it's that simple, if you know what I mean.
I think that's a really good answer. The fact that you've touched on the fact that you don't just you sort of grow as a creative as well, you know, because you get out of
Mm.
being at home, and you, as cheesy as it sounds, I know this sounds cheesy, but it's sort of true, but you do find your voice and who you are outside of
Mm.
your hometown and outside of your parents and where you're living. So it's not just, like you said, it's not just the educational side of it, but you, as someone who's creative, it just allows you to meet new people and have like new experiences. So that's a really interesting take on it. Again, it just goes back to me being technical. I'm thinking like technically what I've learned
Yeah.
from uni, you know, but you're thinking of it in a different sense, you know, which is, you know,
I mean, the thing is with it as well. I guess it depends when you look on the education side of it, whereabouts you're going in the country. So I went and studied at Northumbria in Newcastle, and pardon me, the film scene, the film industry there in general is still growing. It's still developing. So there's not like a huge scene in the Northeast for film. So even if you were to graduate and try and find a job there, you know, it's sparse. You know, if you were to go to Manchester or something like that, where you've got a whole media city, you might have more possibilities and stuff like that after you graduate. But yeah, I think it's more complex than what people make it out. It's just like, oh, you go there and you learn and blah, blah, blah. If you really want to be successful or make it, just making films, you can do it that way.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends what you want to get out of it. I was young. I was, you know, me and you were 18, 19. I'm still out partying and doing that sort of thing. Like, am I in the right mindset to, you know, be thinking about my career in that way? I mean, I had a great time, and I learned a lot. To be fair, I'm not just saying that it was all parties and stuff like that. I did learn a lot, but I don't think I was ready. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take it seriously.
First year, I did absolutely nothing. First year of uni, it was just going out and not learning and not taking it seriously. Which I think it was. I think that's the sort of what you do. We were told that your first year doesn't count towards anything, so it's like, oh, why would I bother trying then?
That's also the pass or fail year, isn't it? It's like you don't even get a grade for that. It's just the dogs of war are like, what's it, off the leash or whatever. So can you just do it?
Isaac, we are actually getting a few questions into the chat. So.
All right.
So if you could watch, well, I'm not going to try and read this because I think it's a bit. But if you could watch one film, what film would you watch?
Yeah.
I think is the question. That's
right now or for the rest of my life.
I think for the rest of your life, if you could watch one film, what film would you watch?
Oh, see, I lean towards like really sad films.
Yeah, but imagine that for
I'd probably be like depressed till the end of my days. If one film, I don't know, I'm always really influenced by films like that I've seen recently, so I'm trying to not let that influence me. Hard question, man. Hard question. I would say.
I'm trying to think myself like what I would pick.
It's not one of those questions like what's your favorite film. It's such a difficult question. All of the Strangers I really enjoyed. It's hard not to just list off films that I really like. Shawshank's a great one.
Yeah,
that's very, you know, basic sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really good question. That's a hard question. What would you say?
I probably would say Fight Club, just because that is like the film. I think, and I am aware that that's like a really generic answer, and I get that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those films where it's like. When you're young and you're trying to figure out what you want to do in the future, and then you study that film and you watch that film, it's like it opens your eyes to actually like a film. Every frame of that film has a purpose, and it's all these little details within that film. And when you learn that when you're young, it just fascinates you.
It was obviously the film. It was the film that me and you I first studied. That was the first film that I ever analysed. In my life.
Yeah.
And when Mr. Lacumba, shout out to Mr. Lacumba, when we went through every aspect of the film, you know, from cinematography, use of sound, the writing, and even going into the psychology of the characters and the color grade, and, you know, we went into like the ID and stuff like that, and the super ego. There was so masculinity, there was so much to unpack with it.
Yeah,
it's really good. But a weird thing with Fight Club, I think it's an amazing film. And I love David Fincher, big fan.
Yeah.
But I've never been able to bring myself to watch it again. I don't know why. I don't know if I just like absolutely killed it for me, like watching it that many times.
Yeah.
Watched it a lot. That's a good one though.
Yeah. We have another question from Emily. What director inspired you
All
to
right.
start at the beginning of your journey, and who inspires you now in your journey? So I think, what director inspired you to start as a director? Who inspires you now, and why?
So, man, we have to go back to Fight Club. It was David Fincher,
Yeah.
man. It was
Yeah.
getting that Fight Club. It was really watching it and digesting that.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've already kind of gone for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Big fan of David Fincher still, but now, now I don't know, man. I'm pretty big on the Safdie brothers, and I'm not just saying that because of Marty Supreme. I've been a big fan of the Safdie brothers since Good Time.
Yeah.
I just think their ability to write scripts and what they pull out of the actors.
Yeah.
Hot take: I think they are the best directors of our generation. I think they are unreal what they do with their actors. How they how they resurrected Rob Pattinson's career, what they've done with Adam Sandler,
Smashing Machine,
and now what they're doing with Timmy. Smashing Machine, yeah, that was Benny, wasn't it?
That was,
I think I lean towards Josh Safdie a bit more. I like his work. I wasn't huge on Smashing Machine, but Good Time. I just read the script for it the other day. It's done so well.
Yeah.
The Safdie brothers, I like their style. I like their gritty, grounded. That's my jam, man. What about you? Who's yours at the minute?
Well, for me, I'd say cinematographers, and not necessarily directors. I think just to make things a bit different, because I would say the same in terms of Fincher. But the cinematography that inspired me, again, when you're young, it's all about the director. You don't really look at it's only when you start practicing cinematography you start researching those cinematographers. Because I loved Seven and Fight Club, but I never knew the cinematographer. I never. It's when you're studying, you don't think of it like that, because to be honest, you don't know that job exists. You think that the director just does everything, and actually that's not the case. So yeah, Darius Kunji's up there, cinematographer for Seven. The way that film looks, I have not seen another film that looks like that film. And if a film does look similar to it, it's just imitating. But right now, Greg Fraser is like, his work is so good. He did the Batman, he did Dune Part 1, Part 2, and one of the reasons why those films, I think, was so big is just all these like incredible shots from that cinematographer.
Is he working on Clayface? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Because he pulled off of June 3, didn't he? Because he was going to work on the Batman film. God knows what's happening with that. But I don't know if he ended up working on Clayface. I was a bit curious.
I feel like I don't know, but I feel like he's going to be too busy for that, because he did Hail Mary, and then his Dune Part 3 is in production.
Oh, right.
We've got a question from Moon UK, which again I believe is your dad. What was your favourite Planet of the Apes movie?
Oh man, do you know what? I'm not gonna say the first one. The first one is great.
This is
when they bring. Oh man, when they bring. So I assume he's talking about the old ones. If I know my dad, he's probably talking about the old ones.
Yeah.
And the first one is great, but I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this. The second one I thought was so weird. I remember watching it, and halfway through, I think it's called Beneath the Planet of the Apes. It switches. And you follow like another astronaut, and just as a kid watching that, it was just so weird. The first one's a masterpiece, don't get me wrong, but to throw a curveball on my dad, because I know what he's doing, I'm going for the second one, and it's a weird one.
Yeah. What about the newest, the trilogy, or now?
I'll make Dawn 100%. Yeah, unreal. I think that's a great film.
I know.
It's such a good film.
I really do think if you're not into, I think it like. Again, I don't know, because we're in the, we're up to date with directors and things, but it's almost like I feel like people don't talk about that film enough when they talk about best trilogies.
Oh man, is that Matt Reeves?
Yeah, Matt Reeves on the second one. Yeah, it's that second film is incredible, and I can't remember who the cinematographer is, but that film as well just looks so good.
And the story was insane. Koba's story was incredible. I wasn't huge on the third one, to be fair. When I watched it the first time, I wasn't massive on it because I was expecting more battles and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
and there's really none. But
yeah,
I rewatched it recently, and I appreciate it a lot more.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the second one's Dawn
I
of
had,
Planet of the Apes, I'm wrong.
yeah, I think Greg Fraser actually is the cinematographer for Dawn. I don't know, but he's a collaborator with Matt Reeves, isn't he? So anyway,
Jamie, pull that up. Pull up that
yeah,
research.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, next question.
Mm.
Challenges of being, I guess you could say challenges of being a writer and director, but I think primarily being a. No, okay. What are the challenges of being a writer and director?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say writing. I love writing. I think it's probably my favorite aspect of the filmmaking process. But I'd say the challenges with writing is the drafts that you have to work on. It's like you get a version of the script, you think that's good, and then you'll come back to it in a few weeks or something like that. You look back on it, and it's kind of like puzzle solving. You might rewrite it, or you might change and tweak certain things to get it where you want to go. You start to like really find out its essence through constant redrafts and edits and stuff like that. You get down to the bare bones of it. It's a long process, but I really enjoy it. I think it's really good. It can be quite hard to like feel the rhythm of the film. I'd say that's the hardest thing, to work out the rhythm of it and what kind of pace and that you want to get at, and getting it all together. But when you look at directing, it's the visualization. You've got this is by far the hardest part. You've got your film in your head. You can see it perfectly. You know exactly what it's going to look like. And then when you get there and say, you know, you do all the prep does help, but when you get there, it's almost problem solving. If it doesn't look like what it looks like in your head, how do you solve that?
Yeah.
How do you fix those issues? Is it lighting? Is it cinematography? Is it the acting? Like, is it the set design? We did a lot of work on The Weight of Silence. We did a lot of prep work on it as well. But how do you get that visual in your head in real life? That's the most challenging part, I think.
Yeah.
And I think our work on The Weight of Silence, obviously a film that we just finished shooting, I think in October last year, the amount of prep work we did for that helped like tenfold. Having you up and doing the rehearsal shoots, and we worked on the set, and I worked with the costume and the actors, and a lot of prep went into that, and it helped a lot. So I would say that's the biggest issue. But then there's the solution as well. If you prep and you get as much practice as you can with the cast and set design and cinematography, you're well on your way to figure that out.
Yeah. I think if there's any of the cast, I mean, I recently looked back at some of the performances for that film. If any of the cast are watching, I just want to give another shout out to the performance of all the actors in that film. I thought it was how they, because again, you rehearsed, you know, you're saying about the challenge about, you know, communication and trying to communicate how you've got it in your head, but you did rehearsals with the actors, and I think that also paid off, is the fact that they were so ready to deliver the performances that you were looking for.
There's always the argument, right? Do you pull the actors on and have no rehearsals and kind of have that live feel of their performance, or do you pull them in and rehearse? I say rehearse, because they need to get in these mindsets of being these people. You know, film's as much psychology as it is like anything else, because you've made these people out of thin air. How do you make these people feel real, right? So doing those rehearsals and getting these little mannerisms and feeling the flow of the narrative and the relationship between all the characters, you get that through the rehearsals.
Yeah. And going back as well to writing, I think you've got to have a lot of patience to write. When I was doing my film of, I don't know, like a year and a bit ago, I think for me it was like I was just impatient with the script, and I was like, I just want it done by January, because I don't think I enjoy writing as much as I did when I was younger. So yeah, I think you need to have a lot of patience.
Go on. That's just that's a good way of putting it, you know, because when we done The Weight of Silence again, you know, we wrote the script, and you almost want to get going with it. Like, you've got the script now, you think it's down, you think it's ready, you know, let's start putting this into production and stuff like that. And you've really hit the nail on the head, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Going back to the Safdie brothers, you know, it took them 10 years to write Uncut Gems. You know, it takes a long time to finalize these scripts and really get it all down. And people, I think, underestimate the time that should be spent on the scripts. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah. I mean, my next question was, how do you prepare before a shoot? And I know we touched on it a little bit, but maybe just talk about it a little bit more. Like, how do you get? I think I'm going to rephrase it. Like, how do you get into the mindset of a film? And not just talking with the actors, but like getting into the film as a whole, getting into the story, getting into the characters, getting into the scene, the mood, the consistent tone. How do you get into that mindset?
Watching films, man. You gotta, find. My dad always says, "Be a magpie," right? So you got to take bits from other things. Pretty much everything, nearly, has been done, but nothing's been done the way that you make it, right? Whatever you do will be refreshing to you because it's come from you, sort of thing, more or less.
Yeah.
And just watch films. Watch films that are similar. Watch films that inspired you to write this project. Just anything related to that topic. Watch and do. I came up with the concept for The Weight of Silence from watching a film called Kneel by Mouth, and then I was listening to a song and I was picturing this scene where they're at afters and this scene escalates and gets violent, and then I started watching This Is England and dived into that whole aspect, and I just started watching these films that inspired me to do the film. And when you get that, you have that real drive, you get the essence, you get the tone, like you're feeling it, you're really feeling what you're going for. And that just allows you to completely envision what you want to do, what you want to achieve. It's really inspiring, and it keeps that you've got something in your head, you've got a target, what you're aiming for, sort of thing, and you're going to do it your way. That'd be what I would say. But when you start to get into it and you're doing your script and you start to do your shot list, and obviously me and you have conversations, we start to look at mood boards, and I talk to Liv about set design and talking to other people about the script. I remember when you first read The Weight of Silence, you rang me afterwards and we had a conversation. You said, yeah, I'm liking this script sort of thing. Maybe change this, maybe change that. And it gets you excited talking about these characters and people's interpretation of it.
Yeah.
So just, there's some stuff to say to that.
I mean, just on the topic of The Weight of Silence script, it's what we spoke before. It was more like after, it's more like what I've learned is that short films are event focused and event based on an event, but like feature films are more character based on characters. So I promise you I'm not just saying this, but when I read the script for The Weight of Silence, I really did enjoy it because it felt it's an event based film. It builds to an event by the end, but that event is not only pushed throughout the entire film that it's escalating, but it just has like a payoff for the audience, committing to however long it is.
Yeah, it builds. I think you sent me that video where it spoke about short films being based around an event.
Yeah.
And I think that was really great advice, When I done The Prophet, that was very and going back into like scripts, now you need to work on them and figuring out stuff like this. The Prophet, which was a film we done quite a while ago, that was more character based. That wasn't necessarily based around an event. And I crammed a lot into that film. I tried to capture quite a lot.
Yeah.
When really, taking on that advice, find one event, because you don't have a lot of time there. You don't have time to develop a character. You have 10 or 15 minutes. That's what, not even a setup of a film. Maybe introduce a character in a film. But that was some really good advice. Just if you're doing a short film, focus on an event and base your film around that.
Yeah. We've got a question, another question from Emily. If you can go back and work with the team to create Lord of the Rings, what department would you want to work with? Writing, directing, styling, etc.
Writing's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because it was adapted from the books. That would have been really fun. But also, I don't have the skills to do it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like the props and stuff like that would be really fun.
Yeah.
My mate sent me a video of like, I don't know if you've seen it. The giant elephant in Lord of the Rings, like the giant elephant. One. They made an actual life-size version of that, and it was huge.
Yeah.
And I just think like they were that doesn't really happen these days. You don't get a lot of practical effects and how much went into that. I think that would have been a really cool side of it, and even like the masks and that, the goblins or whatever, the orcs and the Uruk-hai and that use. I think the practical effects in that film are really not underrated. They're appreciated, but you don't see that often. And that would have been an aspect that I I can't do it. I'm not saying no. I would have rather
yeah,
looked at writing or directing,
yeah,
but if I could, that would be really cool. If I
yeah,
could go and be a
yeah,
part of
yeah,
that.
yeah. Going, have you've seen the Oppenheimer, not Oppenheimer, the Odyssey trailer?
Yeah, yeah,
You know there's a shot of the cave of this cave. Have you? And then the shot of
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. You got the
That's
Cyclops thing or whatever it is.
yeah. That's all practical. That's this giant.
What's
This
Christopher Nolan? He's a big practical guy, isn't he? He likes
yeah,
to
yeah,
have his
yeah.
practical effects and stuff like that. What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was good. It's just a teaser. I think that
Yeah,
I try not to judge. I mean, I know that you're the same, but I try not to judge a film by its trailer. You know, it looks good, but at the same time, I'm not like there being like, oh, this film looks bad. I think it just looks cool. Like, yeah,
I'm a big trailer buff. Like I love trailers. I think trailers in their own right are really good form. You know, I think they're obviously based around the film, but I think that in itself is its own craft. I love trailers. I think they're great. They get you hyped for it as long as they don't give too much away. I wasn't overly sold by the trailer, but I understand it was a teaser. But there's so much riding on Christopher Nolan now. It's I don't know. I'm intrigued. I've heard a lot of people say they're not really asked about it and stuff like that, but I'm really hoping it'll be an epic. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan, so
I thought just
we'll see. Yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts were.
I personally, I thought it just, but again, I was like a huge fan of Oppenheimer, so I think it just,
So was I.
me personally, I was just like, this looks really good. You know, I like that setting. For me, it's the Cyclops coming out of that cave, and it's going to be like this giant real thing, almost similar to the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. That to me, that speaks to me because I'm just like, that's going to be so good to see. Isaac, we got another question.
I mean, often, what is it?
No, sorry, no. No, let's go into the question. We've got another one from Moon UK. Will AI kill the film industry?
Oh,
Yeah,
this is your favorite. This is your bread and butter, isn't it? This.
I was gonna
So
ask.
like he's been paid to ask this question.
Yeah. I was gonna ask this later, but there we go.
Yeah.
We've got it here already.
Will it kill it? I mean, that is the question, isn't it? I mean, we don't really know. At the minute, it is scary. It's also scary how fast it's developing and the lack of almost control that I feel like the government or any industry is kind of putting on it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen like it was an advert or something that was made by AI. And the issue is, we look at it now and we laugh at it and we think it looks a bit weird. But this is really early doors for AI. And in the creative, this is the thing. It's only been around, a few years? It's developing like crazy work.
Yeah.
It is scary. I don't know. Part of it, I think we've had this conversation before talking about AI. And I've heard some guy on a bus a few months ago talk about it. And he said when AI was first crafted, everybody thought, back in the heyday, it was going to take all the rubbish jobs, right? It'd be packing boxes or doing something like that. There's no way it could do a human job like creativity or do art and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who would have predicted that it's actually doing all of the creative jobs and all of the little worker jobs? It can't even like flip a box or whatever. Well, it might be able to do that.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's doing all the creative jobs.
Yeah.
And it's not doing all the like boxing cookies or whatever that's meant to be doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe. What's your take on this? You know more about this than I do.
I don't really. I think everybody. I've seen so many people sort of try and predict where it's going to go and what it's going to do. But it's one of those things that you can't really predict what people will. I think when it comes to, I mean, this is what I'm hoping. I think when it comes to things like film and stories and performances from actors, I think people, it's like there's a disconnect with people, as in if it was AI, they know that there's not a real human being there. And I think that's why people sort of don't like the way certain films are shot, because it's in a big green screen room. But at the same time, people will watch anything. It's most people watch. Go on.
If a film has to use AI, they have to say it, don't they? Because there was a bit of a hoo-ha about The Brutalist. Remember that?
Yeah, he won.
Like it used AI for like some of the set or for his accent apparently or something like that.
His accent.
They have to announce it, don't they? They have to come out and say they used AI.
Yeah. I think so. Well, I see these ads and I'm like, that I couldn't tell that was AI, and it was like
Yeah.
an influencer like tasting their food saying this is delicious, and I'm thinking this can't. This is like there's something wrong here, because you can just make your product look like this incredible product that that looks great and it tastes great, but actually it doesn't do that. So it's almost like fake advertising. But then at the same
Well,
time,
surely, yeah, that goes under false advertising, isn't it?
yeah, but then at the same time, you see like McDonald's burgers, for example, when they in their adverts, and they look so pristine, clean, these burgers, and I'm thinking they never look like that when you get them. So it's almost comparing it to Photoshop and things like that. But again, I don't know. I don't. It's all just so generic, and I think the machine needs to feed itself. And it's like how you're going to see a whole generation below us reject it, maybe in a way, and yeah.
But
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I know we're going on tangent, but just before we move on to another
Yeah, yeah.
topic, I was talking to Liv about how does it work in the education system? You know, people are going to be so relying
Yeah.
on AI now.
Yeah.
It's just going to be crazy. I don't know how they're going to moderate it, but yeah, it's an interesting question. Who knows?
It is an interesting topic, and it always comes
Yeah.
up, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, it doesn't. Hopefully,
Yeah.
you know. Favorite film of 2025.
Oh, do you know what? I've been talking to a few people at work about this. 2025 had some big hits. I do reckon on a side note, 2026 will be a bigger film, a bigger year for film. But 2025, I liked One Battle After Another. I thought that was really good. Big fan of Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
I liked Begonia.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty good. Other than that, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of some artsy ones, some wild ones to throw out there. I didn't watch Pillion, but a few people said that was pretty good. Obviously, I had 28 Years Later and stuff like that. I wasn't overly sold on. I don't think it was the best. A lot of people say Sinners, but I didn't think it was groundbreaking. I would lean towards One Battle After Another. I think that was the funnest film that I came out of and found it quite enjoyable. But yeah, Begonia was also pretty good. What about you?
I wouldn't say it's my favourite one, but it's one that stood out to me quite a bit, and that was Steve on Netflix. You know Steve. We spoke about it.
Yeah, I watched. Yeah, after you said yeah.
I don't know.
Cillian Murphy's fantastic.
I don't know why. I wouldn't say it's my favourite, but it's one of those ones that's like a big standout for me in 2025. Yeah, I like that
Was
one.
it all done in one shot?
No, it's not all one shot, but it does favour very long takes.
Felt like it, didn't it? Because it's all done within like a day or something like that. Yeah, it was something really weird. That was really good, to be fair. Cillian Murphy's great in whatever he does.
I think the reason I liked it is because I like films where when I watch it, I think to myself, I could have done that in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, like if you watch like a really huge film, it's you know that you can't do that, nor you have the skills. But when I was watching Steve, it's like I can see where they put practical lights. You know, I could see where they put certain lights, and I think that's one of the enjoyments of watching it.
But when you see films like that, it's quite cool because you're looking at. I always think, what does it take to make a good film? Obviously, I base it more on like a story base sort of thing, and I think it's really cool when I see a film and I'm like, that's a really good idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's fair. It's doable. It's not. It's complex, but it's a bit simple. Like, it is doable. But that's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? I saw a short film with Bella Ramsey in it. You know, the girl from like Last of Us and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, I think I know what one you're talking about.
Well, I saw this short film and it was based on these two girls, and it's during the witch trial sort of thing, and they're gay.
Yeah.
And they kind of get together and stuff like that. And then I don't want to say what happens, but it was a really interesting concept, and I was like, "That's cool. I've never seen a film like that done before." You know, there's a hole in the market, right? There's a gap there to be taken advantage of, and this filmmaker's done it.
I'd love to do a period piece, something that's not in the modern day. I think that would be.
Yeah, I thought about it a bit.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a werewolf film.
Yeah.
Which again, it's just not doable. Like, there's no way that I can do that yet. He says.
Yeah.
But period piece would be really cool.
For me, it's
that?
Go on.
Yeah. No, you go on.
I was gonna say I'd shoot it on like vintage lenses.
Yeah.
You know, and just like just try and find ways to make it look different.
Well, when you look at lighting, obviously I've never tried it, a period piece and stuff like that. Me and Liv were talking about doing something similar, and we said it'd be really cool to play around with like candle lights and natural like that. Not for the whole thing, but it'd be cool to try and experiment like that and branch out in lighting, which we spoke about doing at some point. But yeah, it's fun. But I mean, you've got to think about the money that goes into that as well, like costumes and where you're going to film it. No, because you can't just film it anywhere. You'd have to find like a correct period place, right? Yeah, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I was just going back to the favourite films 2025. What again for me that's up there is Train Dreams.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, I just saw that recently.
And
yeah, you go.
Netflix, I think, have done a big shift in 2025 where a lot of their films beforehand were just very much like crowd pleasers, very generic, very much the same, and a lot of people didn't like that. But I think they've really put effort into giving these indie writers and these indie directors an opportunity to make a Netflix film and get their work seen. Because you've got Train Dreams, which is, very unique and different, and then you've got films like Steve as well.
Yeah, United Steve, yeah. I mean, you've still got the old, they do Knives Out as well. I will go into the next Netflix things. There's some quite interesting stuff to talk about there. But back onto Train Dreams real quick. I hovered over it on Netflix, right? And I watched a bit of it. And I thought, it's a bit of a slow burner. But the cinematography generally looks unreal. Yeah. And I love Joel Edgerton as well. I'm a big fan of him. And I watched Apocalypse Now. Great film. Yeah. And I fancied watching Train Dreams. I thought it's a bit of a slow burner, but it might be all right. And I was really surprised by it. And the cinematography was generally beautiful. It was really cool. But the ending, it was a sad film, don't get me wrong. But the ending, I generally started welling up. I don't know why. The ending really hit me hard. Yeah. Fantastic performance from Joel Edgerton as well. And just some of the shots they'd done on that were really cool. But Netflix is weird, right? Because they were going to buy up, was it 20th Century Fox? Who were they nabbing?
It was Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, yeah. And there was a bit of a hoo-ha about that, wasn't there? Because the Netflix CEO said, let's he wants to keep it on Netflix. He doesn't want to be involved in cinema. He wants to essentially kill it.
I didn't realize
a lot of people are happy with.
I didn't realize how much Warner Brothers own. They own so much. It's crazy how much they own. And I think Netflix
I'm surprised Disney hasn't tried to get them.
Yeah, you're right. I think Netflix's whole thing is what the CEO said is just about cinema, like doing limited. And to be honest with you, I see where he's coming from. I really do. For him, it's all about the numbers. It's not because he's obviously a CEO of Netflix. I think it was the CEO. I'm not sure, so don't quote me. But it was they see people like that. They see the numbers. They don't see like the audience rating. They just want to see the money and where things are. And I think that what he said about people watching films from home is so true. I think people don't go to the cinema nearly as much, and to be honest with you, I love going to the cinema, I really do. But at the same time, cinemas are really expensive, and it's like if you're a film lover and you're going all the time, and I get that you can have like a subscription and things like that, but it's so much easier to watch stuff from home in the comfort of your own home. You can have food, go on your phone, you can do whatever the hell you want. So I do somewhat get it.
But that's the thing, right? You just hit something there. Yeah, you can go on your phone, you can eat your food, you can distract, you can pause it whenever you want. When you go into a cinema, there is no experience like that. You're sitting in a dark room, you've got no choice but to watch a film. There's no other experience that can compare to it. And you can pause it whenever you want. I mean, if I sit at home and I watch film, I'm constantly tempted to go on my phone because of like mush brain, right?
Yeah.
And I went to go and see All of Us Strangers in the cinema, and it was generally a great experience. And so was Oppenheimer. And I think you're taking away an aspect of the film or a quality of the film when you don't have that. And he says about limited releases and stuff like that. I mean, cinemas are still doing really well. Really well. So I don't think there's no incline that I've seen that's like, God, this is dying. It's not. It's still doing incredibly well. I just think it's kind of like a monopoly factor. And I think this short release of in cinemas, it's a way to push people back into the Netflix watching things at home and stuff like that. I mean, when we released Frankenstein, it was huge. It was our best-selling film and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely think there's a market for it, and I think you do lose an element of the filmmaking
Yeah, yeah.
process when you take that away.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be happening at all.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fight it to you now.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do. I don't go to the cinema nearly as much. But I do love going to the cinema. But yeah. I mean, when I put a film on, it's often, you know, I don't go on my phone at all. And that's just because my separate phone, I got nothing on it. You know, I haven't got scrolling or anything like that. So that does help. Not that I want to anyway. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It'll be interesting to see like the actual figures of cinema. You know, like the chart, like a line chart, to see if it's like, is it the same? Is it gone up? Is it gone down?
Yeah,
it would be interesting to see.
But there was a big thing about Avatar, right? So Avatar 3 has obviously just come out, and have you seen it at all? Did you watch it?
No. I want. Yeah.
No. I wasn't huge in it. It was quite long as well. But there was a big thing, and I think this is happening more often where films are so expensive. Danny Boyle said something similar, but 28 years later, if it's not successful for these sequels sort of thing, unless you're Disney or something like that, you're not getting funding for the next one. So Avatar 3, they were waiting to see how it does globally to see if they were going to fund 4 and 5. And I think 4 is meant to be coming out in 2028 or something crazy like that. He's going to wait again and film them both back to back. But Danny Boyle said he filmed 20 years later, first one, and I think, don't know her name, the director of the Candyman, done the second one. It's about to release on Friday or Tuesday or something like that, fairly soon. But Danny Boyle's come out and said, like, if he doesn't get the funding, the money from that in the cinemas and that, he's not making the final of the trilogy, the last film. So there's aspects like that you know, I don't know, man. There's just the whole thing of like letting Netflix have a monopoly and just everybody bounds them. I just can't. I just can't agree with, you know?
Got another question from Moon UK. Would you make Mindhunter 3 if you were asked?
Oh, mate. I can't believe, generally, sometimes Netflix make decisions and I'm absolutely like just mind boggled. Mindhunter was unreal. It was so good. And they were leading very nicely into BTK. If anybody knows the BTK is, he done some crazy stuff in a bad way, obviously. But I just think it was such a well-crafted show, and it was going in such an interesting direction. It was wild to me. They decided to cancel that. It had a huge following. Crazy. I mean, did you see it? Have you seen Mindhunter?
I haven't seen it. Is it on? Is it Netflix?
Oh man, you'd like it. You know, David Fincher is a big part of it as well. He wrote it and stuff like that, and he helped direct it and stuff. I mean, I can't believe they did that.
Yeah,
it's really gutting.
This year, I'm gonna be watching all these shows. So I've started Severance. I've watched The Studio. Yeah, I'm watching
The Studio next. Yeah,
Pluribus. Yeah. And then Silo.
I'm watching that in a minute.
Yeah, gonna watch Silo. But I'm gonna add Mindhunter to the list because I want to watch so many shows I want to watch. So
this is the thing, right? I mean, I feel like you lean into different arts. Like you'll either be into reading, or you'll be into music or gaming or films and stuff like that. Like I couldn't get into gaming because when I'd sit there and play games, I would lose like hours of my life. Sit there and watch a film for 2.5 hours. You know, you can't do that. But TV series, there's so many now, and they're long. You know, I said to a partner about watching Breaking Bad or something like that, and she went, because she's never seen it, and she went, God, isn't that like 6 seasons or something? And I was like, well, it's 5. And she's like, how many episodes in a season and stuff? And when you think about it, it's a long time. You either like cane it and get through it all, or it takes quite a while to get. It takes a long time to get through a TV series, depending on the series. But there's a lot of them now.
Mark, the reason maybe that I don't start so many, because if I start a show, I have to finish it. I hate just like not finishing it, you know, and stopping. I'm gonna ask my own question, just following off what you just said. What would you do differently in Mindhunter 3? Or like maybe not what would you do differently, but like what would be your starting point? Like if let's say that you were asked to do it, to direct it, where would you start? Let's say you've got given a script from an Oscar-winning writer, so you've got the script. Like how would you start?
How would I start the process into making it?
So you've been given a script from a writer which you've co-written.
Yeah.
Like how would you even start to picture it in your mind? But it's a tricky one because Mindhunter 1 and 2.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to, like, story wise, I'd have to obviously rewatch season 1 too, because it
Yeah,
has
yeah,
been quite a while since I've
yeah.
watched it. But if we're talking about how to, like, practically
Mm,
um make it, episodes are a really strange thing because it's like connecting each one.
mm,
I mean,
mm,
I'm at the minute just writing short films, and even feature length seems
yeah.
quite scary. But I started writing a TV series, and it's one of the weird things I was thinking when I was writing is I had different characters in the series. How
Mm,
long do you stay with each character? It's a
yeah.
really weird thing
Yeah,
to
yeah,
think,
yeah.
but like, how many pages do I stay with this
Yeah.
character before I hop onto the next one? Is there too short or too long?
Mm,
That would be one of the things that I find really interesting with like series writing.
yeah.
But I don't know. I guess again, I guess I just watch things that like influenced it,
Yeah.
and practically, I don't know. It's quite a difficult question to ask
Yeah,
to
yeah,
answer.
no.
Sorry.
Well, it's a huge undertaking, isn't it? So it's
Yeah,
not something
I
you
mean,
can just think about. Uh,
yeah.
um, I was going to ask a question, but it's just it's lost from me. I think I I couldn't even begin to know where I would start in terms of writing a TV show. You know, my whole experience from filmmaking has been films. You know, start, middle, end,
Yeah,
characters, characters, characters.
yeah.
But I think writing for a TV show and having multiple episodes with their own themes and their own start, middle, ends,
Mm.
whilst at the same time, you know, progressing the show forward, don't even know where I would start. I think that's so hard.
I wrote. What I did was I had this concept in my head for like
Mm,
years, and I was like constantly going over in my head like different avenues and stuff the story
mm,
would
mm,
go
mm.
down. And it was a TV series, like crime series, similar to like Top Boy ish
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah, yeah,
And another series called Gomorrah, which is
yeah.
really cool. It's not like a gang show. And what I essentially did was I started thinking about these characters, and I started thinking about where they started and where they were going to end up, and basically the
Mm,
arcs they were going to go on. And
mm,
then I introduced, like, I started thinking about different characters and what arcs were they going to have, and how does that happen episode after episode. And when I
mm,
started thinking about these characters and how I wanted them to develop and certain things that were going to happen to make them develop, but in a natural way, it kind of just started writing itself. And I
mm,
think I got into, like, I didn't finish season because I started on The Weight of Silence and stuff like that, but I got to episode 2, and yeah, it's just kind of compiling up where you want it to start and where you want it to finish. But it was
mm.
really fun. It was one of my most fun projects that I worked on, because
Yeah.
I knew where it was going because I planned it so long in my head, like these arcs and stuff like that. But then some parts I was just kind of writing off the top of my head. Going, yeah,
Mm,
that sounds good. Blah, blah, blah. Um, that's what I would say. Think about these arcs you want these characters to go on, and you don't have to have all the answers, but just have these questions. And some of them, like, I knew the endings of a few characters already, and
yeah.
just think, like, how do they get there naturally? Like, how does this story progress?
Yeah.
And it was actually really fun. So if anybody does do anything like that, or, you know, to answer your question, if I had
Yeah.
Mindhunter, that's probably what I would do. Where are these characters going to
Yeah.
end up, and how do they get there? Kind
That's
of
it.
work backwards in a way.
Yeah, that's a good answer. We've been going for 57 minutes now.
Oh my good gracious!
So I am going to wrap it up. I'm going to ask you.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, exactly. I am going to wrap it up now by asking you, what projects do you have in the works? What can we expect from you in 2026?
Yeah, man. It's a good question. So obviously we just finished filming on The Weight of Silence. We're hoping to have that out this year. I've got another project, a horror film that we're hoping to release this year as well. But
The
as for future projects, yeah,
the horror film, is that the one that we did together, or a different one?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It is that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Cool. Cool.
I've just been sat on it.
Mm,
So this year I'm hoping, because I always moved on to another project, and yeah, so this year I'm taking it a bit slower. And there's a project that that we've been working towards for a while, but I don't know if it will come
mm,
about this year because
mm.
I need to finish wrapping up some of these other projects.
Is
And
it
I'm also
is it a
I'm taking
secret? Is it hush hush? We can't talk about it.
the well, yeah, that's not hush hush. One of the projects, Call Me Pink,
Mm,
which we put in for BFI and stuff like that.
hmm.
But that'll be one. I don't know if we'll be working on it this year, but I'm taking some time to kind of develop my skills
Yeah.
actually. And I've gone back a little bit, and I'm doing more research, and
Yeah.
I'm writing a lot more scripts, and we're hoping to make some really short projects to develop these skills.
Yeah.
Whether it be lighting or whatever we want to do. So at the minute I'm just writing scripts.
Mm,
I'm trying to get through a few scripts. I'm doing a lot of reading. and while we work on these other projects. So yeah, we've got a lot. We're taking it slow this year.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're hoping to potentially start on Call Me Pink, which will be a really fun project. But we're going to be releasing a few films this year as well. So we're really excited.
Nice.
Yeah, man, we're looking forward to it.
I love the script for Call Me Pink. There's a lot to it, but I think if you execute it, don't worry, I'm not going to say anything. But I like the script. So it's a strong script, and what you said, just wait
thank you. Yeah, we want to be. It's a big project because we've never used extras and stuff like that. So that'll be a different aspect of it that we'll be doing. We're filming a location, that isn't inside a house. So there's a lot of the films are inside a house just for ease. But it's also important to mention I did co-write it with Liv. So yeah, I mean we've been working on it for quite a while, and I still think when we look, but we haven't looked at a script in about 6-7 months maybe. Because we've been working on like the short film operation that we did on a little project, obviously the Weight of Silence. There's always been projects that are popping up, but yeah, we're really looking forward to working on that. We think it'll be a great experience for everybody.
Yeah, I
agree. Yeah, we look forward to it as well, man. But I'll keep updated. I'll keep everything updated.
Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say just before we head off? Your Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, to all the followers out there, feel free to give me a follow, Isaac Moon, director. We've also got a production company in the works called Goblin Glass Productions. Go ahead and seek us out. There'll be information posted online and stuff like that, future projects and ones that'll be releasing soon and whatnot. Yeah, it'll be really cool. We're looking forward to getting the company up and running and kind of post a lot more and stuff like that. And that's where all of the films and content will essentially be posted. So if you go over to like Goblin Glass Productions on Instagram, we've got a YouTube as well. And if you follow us on there, you'll be seeing a few projects popping up.
I'll link everything in the description as well. So for everything that Isaac just said, I'll have comments in the description. I'll have links in the description so people can go find you and what you're all about. Isaac, that's everything. I'm going to wrap it up now because we've been going for an hour. Thank you for your time. I mean, I'm going to end the stream, but me and you we'll stay on the chat and we'll have a chat. But I'll end the stream.
Yeah, okay. Right.
But I just want to
say thank you everybody for joining. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have no idea how many people were watching. I got no clue.
It's probably just me, you, my dad, and Emily.
yeah.
But I mean, that's a pretty good crowd, man. Good crowd.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It stays on this whole video will stay on YouTube so people can watch it.
Oh, good. I get to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, mate, don't.
All right, cool.
Don't do it. Don't do it. We've got another comment just really quick. I think Tropic Thunder is the best movie of all time from DJ V. What's your thoughts on that, Isaac?
Do you know what? I haven't seen it in quite a while, but the clips that I have seen of it are pretty good. That one of Robert Downey Jr., I know it's not in the film, but he's like method actor or something, and he's got that guy in the bathtub. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
And he's drawing like something on his back. Yeah. I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in a long time. But I can't confirm or deny that comment, to be honest with you, because I need to watch it again. I probably wouldn't agree with it though, but don't hate me for that. Maybe some different tastes.
I struggle with Tropic Thunder. I think it's got some funny moments, but it's never one of those films where I'm like, I need to watch it every few years. I don't know why. It just doesn't really. Yeah. Same with
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I feel the same.
Anyway, right. We're gonna wrap it up now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Jared. Follow me on Instagram. I'll put Isaac's Instagram in the description. Thank you again so much for watching. I know this one's been a long one, but I do want to do more, interview style like this and get to know other people in the industry in a different way. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will end the stream now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Toodle pip.